Okay, so a couple of you talked to me after the Wednesday session to discuss how that power goes through the body if it isn't by speed. And I urge you to mentally picture what you're connecting to. Picture Canada, picture your ethnic group, picture whatever your connection is, and let that mounting intensity claim you rather than trying to claim it. You know, the old story of being danced instead of dancing.
You know,
So
Marilyn, I would like to add, because just coming back from Japan and spending a time at a lot of Buddhist and Shinto temples, that is exactly what happens. Nothing speeds up, ever, ever. But you feel the intensity increasing in the energetic field. People
exactly.
don't change. Their bodies are in the same position. Their chants are in the same chant. They are moving in the same way, but the intensity of the energy actually is palpable. It's palpable. And so it was interesting to witness that, having all the conversations with you and the many times we've done these dances. It was very interesting to sit and witness that happening and feel over a period of time how the intensity increases without one thing changing in the physical body. It was quite interesting. So I think it's something really for us to, because our world doesn't really have that perspective. Our world has a perspective where as intensity increase, we move faster. And
Yeah.
so really realizing how to contain that within the physical presence, but allow the energy to increase is quite it's an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it gives you a different kind of connection.
100%. Mhm.
Okay. So that begins in part 3. And in part 4, it becomes very clear and very, it happens much more quickly, the increase in intensity, so that when we reach the end and the drums just start giving you that one solid beat and you line up, the whole thing has built to the point that as the drum stick comes down and does not touch the drum, all that energy bursts out between you and the audience. And we don't have to say anything about being connected to each other because we've already arrived at that. And then it stops. And then you bow. And again, you're bowing to this energy in the people you're confronting and the people you've brought with you on this journey. So I'd like to spend this night just going over those last 2 sections and feeling the change, the energetic change, the change in perception. Because really, if this is going to work, you have to truly be awakening to whatever it is we're connecting with at that time, and it has to change. The first 2 you've got very, very well, but these last 2 are trickier. So that's what we will do tonight. We'll do both the last 2 sections and then probably one of them again. Next week, just to let you know, we're going to start working out how this will happen spatially when you're actually in the space, where you will be low key and spread out, where you will be together, where you will be in groups of 2 or 3, so that you have it in your head and in your body. And when you come in to do those final in-person rehearsals, it just becomes manifest. You don't have to learn it again. You just have to take it into spatial reality. So that's what we'll be working on during May, is getting it so that you feel in your body how it's going to change, how you're going to move apart, how you're going to become together. And then when you get into the space, you can adjust that. And then you have the live rehearsals. Terry, who is not going to be here tonight, is getting the costumes together so that during that Thursday, Friday, Saturday rehearsal time, you can get your costume and label it, and it'll be hanging in the front of the chapel. So you have no problem on the day of the performance, just pulling it on. The only thing to watch out for in the trying on of the costumes, the women need to check that the length is right in the costumes so that you're not stepping on the hem of yours. Charles, you can, I think there are 7 pairs of pants, so you have a lot of choice, but they're just simple elastic waist pants. And were you able to find your leotard? Okay, so you're set too. Great. All right, my loves. Unless someone wants to bring up anything else, we'll just go ahead and start working on part 3. Let me remind you that part 1, you were working from yourself completely. Carlos called you to connect with yourself, to awaken to yourself, to look at what you have done and not done. And then we move into a wider group that is in touch with friends, family, the people you're connected with, the family by blood, the family by love, both. Then when that's over, the energy comes back in again before the shofar sounds. And as it sounds, which we'll start with now, you're moving into your national connection or your ethnic connection. One step beyond family and friends. Okay? All right, here we go. Visualize your connection to a country, to an area, to a group of people. Let your breath move you. Good. That's it. Eddie, that's beautiful. Yes, yes. Please, Charles. Yes, everybody. Be aware of how the energy is moving through your body from the core out, the feet up. reaching out, but it's also you taking in. You can connect in time, space, oh, nice. It's perfectly okay to let your body pause. That's what's happening. Just make sure the energy continues to flow. Feel free to move, not to be standing always in one place. You'll have a large stage area to move. But again, let the connection move you. That's it. Really good. And allow your weight to shift. Yep, that was very, very beautiful. Nice. Bendy. Allow your face to change. It's your connection. Yes. Let your eyes focus. Allow the awakening to be a process. let everything go until the next one starts. You don't have to move, you don't have to change, you don't have to freeze, but let it all go because you're moving into your connection with everything, all living things. You're being called by all of them. Let that build up in you. All right, here it starts. Everything, every plant, every animal, every human, every age, every nation. Let it slowly pile up. That's very, very, very good. Beautiful. Let your face change as slowly and as deeply as your hands move. That's it, Clarice, that's beautiful. Okay, now you don't speed up, but you let this energy build inside you. In order to connect with every living thing, you need it. Let the water move you. Let the wind inspire you. Let specific animals come and move. Let them dance you. Grows. That's it. When you're dancing in front of the audience, you're going to feel that connection too. Really good. Yes. Yes, let it be true and let it grow. It becomes like a tsunami of connection. Allow yourself to be one with everything. That goes spiritually as well as, yes, there it is. Find your awakening point. your heart touch the heart of each animal, person, plant, thing. That double beat is a signal that you are starting toward the lining up period. You line up down the middle, slowly. Bringing your entourage with you. All the creatures, all the beings you're connected to. Let your breath carry this. Feel it like hot light. Come completely alive to all that's around you. As you line up, be aware of who's in front of you, who's behind you, and all that surrounds you after all the stand. Jessica, perfect. Can you hear the beat change? Very subtle. Connected to everything in the world, including the audience. Including those you love who are no longer on the earth. That's it. Gather all the energy inside you. We'll have the drummers slow down as they approach the silent drum. Okay, since they didn't do the silent drum the way I want you to do it, I'll be your silent drum. So what will happen at that point, which is a couple of minutes before the end, is the person doing the big drum will start giving you very loud, very measured beats. So you'll hear boom, 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 and you'll be walking with extreme slowness toward the outside. Boom, boom, boom. And now a stroke with no sound. And another one. And another one. And another one. And another one. And then you allow everything to finish inside you, everything to slow down and become suspended. And when that's complete, then we'll take our bows. Okay? Please turn your microphones back on. Okay, quick questions or observations about that? It's not the easiest thing to maintain this. What happened is we hit some wonderful points, but it doesn't go on the whole time. It's very hard to do because you are moving in space, dancing. You're keeping all this energy inside you to be genuinely awakening to the various entities, and you're allowing it to grow. The allowing it to grow part is the hardest. And I don't have an exact music thing because they're improvising the same as we are. So I can't tell you when you hear this, it's time to get it up to this point. You'll have to trust that connection that you can feel when it grows. And they will stop at some point and then go boom, boom, and so on. Does that help at all? This is one of those things where you have to keep doing it in order to be there. It's much harder to describe than it is to actually get there. But there were some sections of this that were absolutely finished already, that were definitely, I could tell you saw it, you know, because I would watch you and I would go, oh, look at that. And then that person would smile. You can feel when the connection energy takes you. And when you're in that state, it's ecstatic. And that's what we're looking for this whole thing. To have the things connect, to have them grow, to have all these different facets of connection come together and have that grow until it becomes so strong that it's the earth, the entire earth, and the spiritual realm crossing it. Really.
What I noticed, Marilyn, is that as the intensity grew, I had to be careful because I found myself holding my breath sometimes, which was not a good thing to do. I had to remind myself to breathe.
Yes, I actually have the same problem.
Me too.
Yeah, because we equate tension with intensity, and then that means stopping your breath. So I think the easiest thing to do with that is to become extremely conscious of your breath as you try it once. Just breathe it. And then that connection becomes established and it takes on a life of its own. But yeah, this is why we practice. It's not to get perfect at this movement or that movement. It's to master these connections and changes so that by the time we do it in front of people, they are able to get on board with us without having to do all the practice. Really, really good work. I would like to do that last part one more time if you're willing. I know this takes an enormous amount out of you, surprisingly. However,
does.
It really does.
Yeah.
Once you get comfortable with it, once you've done it a few times, it reverses. The energy comes into you.
Okay.
So you'll feel that in little parts. And we have one more month. By the time that month is up, I know this group will absolutely be there, and the people around you will be able to get a free ride. Yeah. All right, let me try to get us queued up again. I'm not going to coach you this time.
This is just part 4 we're doing.
Yes,
Okay, great.
unfortunately, they didn't do a numbering system, so I have to find it. Hang on. Here we go. boom, 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 boom. Good. Good. You guys didn't forget that it wasn't over when you couldn't hear it anymore. However, some funny things happened there. And partly because I think you're getting tired, is you lost the Buto several times. And the breathing was in there, this was in there, and all of a sudden there were, here, let me get the video back on. There were moments where you were, oh, I'll go back in this pose now. I'll go back in that pose now. It has to be a continuous flow. And you know it. I'm not telling you because you don't know it, but I want to point out that if you look back at this video later, you're going to do this a couple of times. It's just practice. It's just keeping that flow going and riding it. It's a gift. You know, it's not a goal that you have to achieve. If you can lock yourself into that place, if you can hook on to that flow of energy, it's a fantastic gift. And you'll know that it's sustained when you start to feel energized rather than depleted. Yeah. Some very, very beautiful stuff tonight. This is going to work so well, guys. All right, my loves, I see that some of you are really, really flagging. It's not the easiest way to dance. It is when you get it all worked out, but on the way, it's very, very tiring. But that's true of meditation too. You drift out, and then finally you get in that zone, and you can't mistake it for anything else. Yeah. You guys are marvelous. I love you. Next week we'll work more spatially, but we'll keep coming back to the 4 sections. And I'm going to talk to the drummers in the meantime to make sure they understand how the silent drum works. And then Tony will coach everybody at the in-person rehearsals. Yeah, Nancy. Wait a minute, honey, you're on. Let me see if I can get you unmuted.
I think she was just stretching. Is that true, Nancy?
Were you just stretching? Yeah, she was. You're right.
I do it all the time.
Anybody else? Oh, Clarice, by the way, I just got a note from Trinity before we started saying that if you would like it, they would be happy to give you a letter.
That would be fantastic.
I'm not sure it wouldn't be better to characterize this as a Sacred Dance Guild movement choir meeting at which we dance. Then there's no question about whether it's work or not work.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
So let
I
me,
think that's how we will approach it, Marilyn, that we are going from the Sacred Dance Guild, we belong to the Guild, the Trinity is a group of it, we're going to work with them and we'll be working with them on this piece. I think we can keep it.
yeah. I'm going to suggest that to the Trinity lawyers, and I'm pretty sure they'll say fine.
Yeah.
Just say work. We won't say work.
Yeah, we don't
there's
say
no
work.
Don't say performance either.
We're gathering together.
Yeah.
We're sharing a piece during this church service. Those are all good things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's true.
It is true. It's all true.
All right, my loves, get some rest and have a look at the video. I think you will, it will be a shortcut to arriving in this so that it works really well. It's so easy to work with you now because you're so aware. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Love you.
Thank
you.
See
Good
you next
night.
week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Sayonara.